Hi, welcome back to Flypast. Today we're going to feature a series of lovely afternoons spent at Guarulhos International. Yes, the major airport of São Paulo, Brazil. Welcome aboard. Hi, welcome aboard PandAviation, and today's feature is all about Guarulhos in the 80s. Yes, most of those videos were shot in the late 80s, between 87 and 88 mostly, and you're going to see a lot of classic types in operation. You're going to see the glorious 707 of Líneas Aéreas Paraguayas. You're going to see Canadian DC-10s, Varig DC-10s, well, you're going to see a lot. And I hope that you like it, and without much further ado, let's see and hear those glorious types of yesteryear. Well, yeah, let's start this slideshow. I went very often to Guarulhos to photograph. I'm a big airplane spotter with over 770,000 images. So back in those days, I loved to go there. And as you probably know, São Paulo has 3 airports, 3 major airports serving the city, which is about over 20 million people live in São Paulo today, which makes São Paulo the 4th largest city in the world. So as such, it has attracted a lot of international traffic. Just like this DC-10, the Canadian Services was the first airline to serve Brazil. And they brought those glorious DC-10, oh, what a lovely airplane. Back then, Chile had 2 major airlines serving Brazil. Ladeco, as you see here, that flew Guarulhos, Asunción, Santiago. And then Chile, the powerhouse of aviation today in South America. They brought almost everything, 767s, 707s, 737s, everything that they got. Another classic airline was Lloyd Aéreo Boliviano. They brought 727s there until the very end. Beautiful machines, beautiful. Here's a 200. Also, another trijet, the 1011. TAP was the major operator of the TriStar into Guarulhos, and he operated until the type was substituted by A340s and A330s. Luna from Uruguay, oh, what a lovely airline. And Iberia brought DC-10s, eventually 767s, not very common, but later on they came, a couple of them. And then the A340, 300s, and then 600s into Guarulhos. Air France, oh, Le French. Yes, they brought their Charme and their Camembert on 747s. And Aerolíneas Argentinas, our friends from Argentina, our neighbor country, they brought almost everything, including later A310s, A340s, 747s, everything they got visited Guarulhos. Well, British Airways started in Brazil in 1985. First with the 1011, then 747-200s. Swissair operated MD-11s and Alitalia 74s. Yeah, the grand old lady, the queen of all airlines, the queen of all airplanes. What a sight to behold, operating there. As well as Aeroperu, which brought this glorious DC-8-62. Lovely machine, beautiful, very sleek. I love the DC-8. Now for the Brazilian turf, we have Cruzeiro. A lovely paint job. I love this corporate image. It dressed well on every type. The 737s and eventually the A300s. Yeah. What a lovely, lovely scheme. The Ajax was a small cargo operator in Brazil. And as you can imagine, Varig operated every single type they had into Guarulhos. 72s, 70s, 76s, the ever so present 737. They were all there in dozens of daily operations. Heady days for Varig. Yeah, those were the days for Viação Aérea Rio Grandense. And of course, we love to see the DC-10s and 747s. Those were my favorite. I have always been fascinated by wide-body aircraft. But now when I look at those 737-200s, I realize that yes, they became extinct and now they're classics, and it's a good thing I registered them. Yeah, I kind of like those different shots. I don't like to do side shots only. I like when I change the angle. Nothing wrong with side shots, but as you can see here, but there's something else. That was taken from the runway. You can go to that position. And yes, Varig operated A300s as well. Well, the queen of Varig's fleet. That's the Brazilian operation of Saba. And yes, Trans Brazil, the rainbow colored tail. I used to work for that airline. I was marketing director of Trans Brazil. So I have very fond memories of that beautiful airline. Yeah, even 707s were operated on domestic services. Back then, Trans Brazil had the youngest fleet in Brazil, when they substituted the 727s by Boeing 737-300, starting in 1986, and the 727s were phased out in 1989. VASP stands for Viação Aérea São Paulo. São Paulo is the state where Guarulhos is, so VASP is kind of a local airline. Yeah, glorious days for VASP. Piazza, ooh, that's another classic. Yeah, the sleek, the glorious, beautiful DC-10s were common sights. Líneas Aéreas Paraguayas of beautiful Paraguay. 707s and DC-8s were a guaranteed sight. SAS operated 767s there, non-stop from Copenhagen, as well as Japan Airlines. Yep, time to go. Yeah, that's a classic shot. So, amazing, isn't it? I mean, it's incredible. When we look back, we never thought, wow, gee, I'd be watching those airplanes 40 years after they were filmed. But yes, that's what's happening. And the more the time passes, the more they become classics. They become more rare sights all over the world. Some of them are not even in operation. It's very hard to see 727s. You cannot see 707s anymore. And even the DC-10. The DC-10 that was a very easy airplane to see all over the world is now a very rare sight. Not to mention the 747, which is on the brink of becoming almost extinct, at least from passenger operations. So, I hope you like to spend this time together at Guarulhos International Airport, and you can rest assured in the next weeks and months you're going to see a lot of good stuff coming from the past. Give your like to the channel. Always welcome aboard PandAviation. See you next time.
Cargo back blue 658 1 clear of the Hong Kong airspace. Any audience would not have pushed.